Hi, it's Randall with Carter Hill Honeybees. Today's Friday, March 26, 2021. I got a couple of colonies here in this yard. This one and that one right there. When I did the nectar management process 3 weeks ago, the colonies was located up pretty high and I wanted to get them back in there deep, and I rotated the mediums down, which in this case was both of them, and that one right up there, it only had a couple of mediums on it. It was a little weaker at the time, so I wound up putting one underneath. But today I'm going to evaluate and try to get this reconfigured in the way I want for honey production by getting this on the bottom. And it's been 3 weeks, so I'm hoping that the colony has got a significant amount of brood in this deep box here. So we're fixing to take this down and see what we've got. Yeah, there's bees all the way to the top here, so they're starting to get pretty crowded. So I want to pull a frame right here where I see a lot of bee activity and see if we indeed do have some brood up here. And yes, we do. There's some young larvae in here. Definitely doing very good on nutrition. A lot of royal jelly, worker jelly around that young larva. Quite a few eggs. So this colony's looking really good. Well, they still seem to be staying in these mediums pretty good. I need to get these bees in that deep pretty quick. So I'm going to take the time to shake these bees down and add a queen excluder. Now, I was just fixing to say, I'm kind of looking out for the queen. If I spot her, the shaking's over with, and I just spotted her. So I'm going to ease her down below. Now I don't have to do any more shaking. I really is undecided what I'll need to do in a week or so. I'm probably not going to be able to leave that. I'll probably need to come back and check this out in a couple of weeks. I don't know for sure, but they could initiate the swarm since I've got the queen trapped below here. But she's also got almost this whole box to lay, so I want to see if she'll do it. So I've got it configured here. I started out by going to shake the bees. All three of these still have, all of these has got brood in it, which a couple of these I brought down a couple of weeks ago. So I found the queen in one of them, immediately stopped shaking and installed her down here. I put my queen excluder here, and there's a lot of brood here, and I just kind of put it back together here. Pretty much all this brood was capped, so they'll be emerging out in the next week to 10 days probably. And I'll come back in a couple of weeks and make sure she's filling that box up down there. If she don't, I run the risk of this colony swarming, which I don't want to do. It's already storing a pretty significant amount of nectar in it. So it's off to a pretty good start. This other colony up here ought to be somewhat easier to deal with. It's not as big as this one, so let's check it out. So if memory serves, in this colony, I got a medium, a deep and medium. I got pretty much all the brood in this medium at that time. And then I let them, hopefully they're moved up into this deep pretty good. And if they have, this will be much easier, as I'll just probably have to put a couple, 3 deeps on top of this, and I won't have to tear down into it. So yeah, they've done built all the way through, and they're up into this medium now. Definitely a good population in here. They're doing very well. Yeah, a lot of cap brood in here. Well, I've got the box rotated. A lot of brood in both of these boxes. They're just starting to move into this one, so now I'm going to do the nectar management technique that I demonstrated a few weeks back around March the 10th. So I've got this and pretty much configured like I want, and even though it's a little bit behind, it's catching up in a hurry. But I'm going to go ahead and do the checkerboard technique on this one, and that should get this one running in the right direction. So this will be a kind of review of how I control swarming. A lot of beautiful light colored nectar and honey in that one. So I made me a little room. I'm going to get that one on the wall out of the way. I already get some brood there. So I'll go ahead and put my, even though it's not capped, this one is full of pretty much nectar and honey. I guess it's done been turned into honey. I'm not going to shake it because there's no need to right now. There we go. I'm going to have a full, an empty, and I'll move me a full one back over here. And then another empty, another full, another empty. Now this one I'm going to leave on the wall, but it's kind of got some boogered up comb right here that I'm going to get off. I'm going to turn that bad part to the outside. So they're filling this with honey, so now I'll put a brood back in here. So that gets the bottom box, and I'll go over it again. I'll have a full, an empty, a full, empty, full, empty, full, empty, and then full. So that's going to allow this colony to really boost itself over the next 3 to 4 weeks. And on this top one, I'm going to leave empty on the outside, and I'll come right in here and put, which is going to be mostly brood, on top of it. There's enough bees in here now, and it's warm enough now that they'll be able to take care of it. They'll be able to take care of this no problem, as warm as it is, as many bees as there is. So doing the brood this way is not going to be a problem. So there was another full, and I'm moving an empty over. And I stuck another full in there, moved the empty over. And then I got another full next to the outside, or one over from the outside wall. And right here I've just put an entire empty drawn out comb up here. So I've configured this hive exactly like I did 3 weeks ago, my stronger hives, in the video I did how I reduce swarming in my colony. So I got brood, and then I've checkerboarded these two and then put an empty up here. Now, if I didn't do this, this colony would almost certainly swarm. It would be right at the tail end of the swarm season. They would probably been I'd say about a 60–70% chance this colony would swarm. I think I've just cut it down significantly now. The colony has plenty of room to grow now, plenty of empty cells for the queen to lay in. They're really fixing to take off. You may be asking why I didn't do the other colony that way. To be honest, I'm not exactly sure myself. Some of this stuff I just make a decision at the moment, but there was so much brood up there, I felt like I needed to get the queen trapped down low and get her to use in that area, and let that brood emerge up top, because I felt like if I went ahead and, even if I would have nectar managed that without the queen excluder, the queen would just come back up there as much brood as there was, and she'd be up there and I'd have to do it all over. So and that may not work, but I'm going to try it and see what happens. So I put her down and put a queen excluder on top of the first medium. There's probably a medium and a half worth of capped brood up there that's going to emerge, and that should give them plenty of room to dump their nectar and pollen as they come in, and she'll have plenty of room to lay in that medium and the deep underneath. All right, this colony a couple of weeks ago, I brought a medium of bees up here, had some nectar and stuff, pollen in there, and this box here had some brood in it. So today I want to see if they've emerged out. I want to see if the brood pattern's improved. I was hoping to get this colony to recover and perhaps take some graft from it, because this colony's done me real good the previous 2 years, and that was during my treatment-free years as well. So, and it still produced 6 fully capped mediums of honey the previous 2 years, but it's struggling a little bit this year. And I've got the mite numbers way down, and I guess it's, I don't know, maybe the queen's old or whatever, but anyway, we're fixing to check it out and see what we got. Yeah, that deep's got some weight to it. Yeah, I can tell there's definitely more bees in here than there was previous. Good frame of cap brood. Looks like they're backfilling it as the bees emerge. Actually have a bee coming out right there. A lot of cap brood here. A few young larvae. Yeah, the population has definitely gotten quite a bit better. Well, there's some brood down here. Not a lot, but some. Now that frame there's got a good amount of brood on it. So the queen's definitely using this lower box, and that's what I want. So what I'm going to do with this one will be similar to what I've done to the first one. I'm going to shake the bees out of these boxes down into this, and use my queen extruder to keep her low. But I'm going to try something a little different on this one, just to learn. So I'm going to put my queen excluder, and I'm going to put an empty medium right on top of it. There's definitely enough bees in here to take care of the scattered brood that's up in those upper 2 supers. So I'm going to take that approach and see how it works out. This colony is recovering very well. Kind of review what I've done. In the deep down there was a decent amount of brood, still a lot of empty comb down there. This #1 medium had a pretty good amount of brood in it. Pollen and nectar too. So I went ahead and put the queen excluder there, and then I worked in my empty under here just to see what'll happen. And then both of these supers has got a combination of cap brood, you know, not taxing as far as a lot of effort to keep warm. It's warm enough now that the brood shouldn't have any problem. So I've got a little bit of cap brood in both of these, and I just kind of want to see what'll happen putting that medium right there. And I got the queen excluder to keep the queen down low. I want to cause her to feel that deep down there. Trying to learn something new right here. But I'll come back in a couple weeks and see what's going on. If I have to, I can pull a frame or 2 of cap brood out of there if I need to, and balance some more out. But well pleased with bringing those bees and brood up here a couple weeks ago. It's definitely a big increase in bees, and looks like the queen in there has responded to having that many more bees. And I took those 3 colonies that I kind of had to reverse a while back because they was either weak or they was up high, and I've come back here 3 weeks later and reconfigured them the way I want to match my other honey production colonies. And as you can see, they do. All the honey production colonies here has got 4 supers, with the exception of the 2 I moved up here a couple of weeks ago, and they'll have those supers on there pretty quick, just as quick as they get strong enough to need them. Anyway, I appreciate you joining me for this video today, and we'll see you next time.